Welcome to day 8, everyone. Thank you so much for making it thus far. After today, we only have 2 days left. Woohoo! Or sad face. Thank you for all your commitment so far. It's been so much fun. It's been so nice connecting with all of you. Today is day 8. Today's theme is clarity. And the chakra we'll be focusing on today is the Vishuddhi Chakra, the throat chakra, which is our region of truth and the ability to express ourselves honestly and with clarity. So it's the region of truth, it's our throat chakra, and it's known as Vishuddha. In yoga, there's a word known as satya, which translates as truthfulness or the ability to speak the truth. And it is coupled, because sometimes we can speak truthfulness in a way that can be hurtful. Sometimes we can be really direct with people, and if we're overly direct, it can cause that person harm. So satya is always tempered, is always balanced with ahimsa, the ability to be compassionate. So whenever we go to speak something and it's truthful, we always need to temper it with, is it kind? Is it necessary? A couple of weeks ago, during my YouTube video classes, we were talking about speaking our truth. And when we ever speak our truth, it's helpful to think of those 3 questions. Is it helpful? Is it kind? And is it necessary? So whenever we're speaking the truth, we have to ask ourselves, first, is it necessary? Second, is it kind? And third, will it be helpful? And if the answer to one of those questions is no, then we need to reevaluate what we're going to say. And I find those questions are so helpful when I'm in a challenging circumstance and I don't know if it's appropriate to say something and how to say it. I always ask myself those 3 questions. Is it kind? Is it helpful? And is it necessary? And I think this is really big in the social media world right now. We see a lot of people posting very interesting stuff on social media. And sometimes, you can feel, I'm not sure, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I feel that need to comment, and I always go through those questions first. And usually the biggest one for social media stuff is it necessary to say something? And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes we need to hold people accountable for what they're posting. And then other times it's like, nope, totally not necessary. And then following that by, is it kind and is it helpful? The truth is communicating things as they are, not as we wish them to be. So I think when we're talking about truth, about satya, it's really important for us to talk about the kleshas. Because the kleshas can really impact how we perceive what is true. And isn't that that's the $1 million question? What is true? Because we all come from very different backgrounds. We all have very different biases. We all have very different levels of privilege, education, so many different things that are impacting our ability to perceive what is going on. So the question is, what is true? Like, what is actually truthful? And I think in this day and age, it's almost in some ways becoming a lot easier to figure out what is factually true. And in other aspects, it's becoming much more complicated because there's so much information out there. And it's like, what is the actual truth, air quotes, truthful information? And so, yeah, I think in some ways, we have the internet and it's made it so much easier to kind of fact check things. And at the same time, it's made it so much harder. It's funny how there can be that paradox, but there definitely is that paradox. So the kleshas. The kleshas, I like to discuss them as kind of veils. There are these veils that cloud our eyes, so that we have difficulty to perceive what is true, to see what is actually going on with clarity, because today's theme is clarity. And our goal in the practice of yoga is to begin to take these veils off so that we can see things clearly, without a distorted perspective. So kleshas distort our perspective on what is actually going on. They distort our perspective. I've also heard them discussed as the poisons of the heart. And so the kleshas cause suffering because we're not able to see what is clearly going on. And it's the idea of yoga that we're able to wipe down the window so that we can see out it with clarity. And the kleshas can be like all the dead bugs and stuff on the window that are kind of obstructing our view. All the dirt and the grime. So the intention of the yoga practice is to get a cloth and take some time cleaning that window so we can walk out to the world and see things clearly and see ourselves clearly. The first klesha is known as avidya, which translates as ignorance, or I prefer this one, lack of awareness. So if we are ignorant or we do not have awareness, it will be hard for us to understand and see what is going on. Avidya. And this is the root of all suffering, is ignorance. And we could take it more into a big picture concept, philosophically speaking, and they say that the root of all suffering is avidya, is ignorance or lack of awareness, and in the context of forgetting that we're spiritual beings. Ignorance is the forgetting that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, which is what we talked about yesterday. And that if we remember we're spiritual beings and we aim to connect towards that, it will help pierce through our ignorance. Another way of unraveling, so if you view these as these like beautiful veils that kind of distort our perception, like you can kind of see through the veil, but it's a bit distorted. One way of unraveling this veil or being able to take it off is through awareness. So avidya is lack of awareness or ignorance. So one way we can begin to unravel it is through education, is through study, is through being open-minded so that we invite awareness, increased awareness into our life. You know, a very simple story of this was when I was in elementary school and I was a horrible student. I was a horrible student with regards that I was poor performing with my grades. Like I was a very kind of like obedient student, but my grades were quite low. Like I remember I was usually consistent C's, the occasional D, and if I was lucky, maybe 1 B. So it was like C's and D's predominantly. And I remember when I got to grade 6 and had Madame Meunier as my teacher. I was in a French immersion school. And, you know, I was submitting my homework and after the class was done, she called me out and asked me to stay after class. And she said, "Why are you performing so badly?" This was all in French. Like, "Why are you performing so badly?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm not that smart." And she's like, "You know, smartness comes from working hard." And I was like, no, I just thought like there are other people in my class that were really smart. And I thought intelligence was just something you were born with or you weren't born with at that age. Like to me, in my mind, it was so clear that intelligence was just something that you got lucky at if you were born with it. Like there were some people in my class that I was like, wow, they are so smart. They are so lucky to be born like that. I just don't have that skill. And Madame Meunier was like, no, if you have self-discipline and you work hard, you can become more intelligent. You just have to dedicate yourself to it. And she's like, do you know how to do that? And I was like, no. And she's like, okay, well, you go home and you study all the information I've given you that day, and you give that information to your sisters or your parents, and you get them to ask you ask questions about that information. And if you're able to repeat it back to them, then you've learned that information and you've become more smart. You've become more intelligent because you've increased your awareness around that information. And I was like, oh, I didn't like, And I was like, and she's like, but it requires work. And I was like, oh, okay. So then that year changed my life. I went from like one of the lowest performing students in class to a AAA student, high school, some of the top marks. When I went to university, I got a full scholarship for biomedical science. Like that moment changed my whole life, and it was a flame of awareness. That intelligence is not something you're born with, it's something you can work at just by increasing your awareness of things. So avidya is piercing through our lack of awareness by inviting more awareness. And sometimes we need another person to inspire that for us. Ye madame Meunier. Teachers, such a noble profession. They're spreading awareness. So, you know, one thing a mantra you could say is, the more I learn, the more I see the world with greater clarity. Second klesha is asmita. So asmita translates as our distorted sense of self. Our distorted sense of self. Intense egoism. So asmita is intense egoism, a very distorted sense of who we are. So I think a few days we talked about overly identifying with our identities and our stories. And asmita is taking that to the next level. Like, we're so identified by our identities and the stories we tell ourselves that we become almost very controlling and protective of them. So asmita is very intense egoism. And this can look like, there's kind of two spectrums of it. Being overly arrogant and pompous. I love that word, pompous. And then on the other side, intense egoism can also look like being highly insecure. And, you know, I've worked with, you know, people on both ends of the spectrum, and I see both ends of the spectrum in myself as well. And what I notice about both ends of the spectrum in myself is they're both highly controlling. When I'm feeling very insecure, I'm very controlling about the environments I put myself in, and I'm very controlling. I don't like any type of exposure whatsoever, or anything that involves a little bit of risk. I try to control my environment so that I'm not exposed to any form of risk whatsoever. To the point where I'll just, you know, avoid risk, to the point that it's hurtful towards me. And when I'm feeling extremely arrogant and confident, I'm controlling in that I don't give a rat's ass what anyone else thinks or what they tell me. My way is the right way. And, you know, I think it's important for all of us to acknowledge those extremes within ourselves, and that they're both versions of intense egoism. So a mantra for this, I think it's quite beautiful. I will not be controlled or confined by an overinflated or underinflated sense of myself. I will not be controlled or confined by an overinflated or an underinflated sense of myself. I will not be controlled or confined by an overinflated or underinflated sense of self. Okay, so we've talked about those two concepts, avidya, ignorance, and asmita, intense egoism. So whenever we're seeking truth or clarity, we need to acknowledge how ignorance can cloud our perspective and how intense egoism can cloud our perspective. So basically this looks kind of like bias and privilege. That when we're trying to seek out the truth and when we're expressing our truth, we need to be mindful of our own bias and our own privilege. And we all have privilege on varying levels, you know? Some more than others. So I think these are a few really good mantras that we can repeat to ourselves when we're looking to express our truth and seek the truth. Here's mantra 1. This is really good. I came up with it this morning here, being all confident. Okay. I express myself in an honest and nonviolent way while being mindful of my privilege and bias. So this is like, you know, when you hear teachers like, speak your truth no matter what. Like, I have the ability to express yourself and speak from the heart no matter who it hurts. Like, just let it out. And, you know, I think that can be, one, very empowering to just like sometimes just like let it out. But I also think it lacks responsibility. So yes, I'm all for us speaking our truth. Like, it's so important to open up this chakra and express ourselves. It's so important, especially if you come from a past where you've suppressed it. Like, we need to learn how to open it up and express our true feelings. At the same time, we need to be mindful of our own bias and privilege and do this in a way that's non-violent. So I express myself in an honest and non-violent way while being mindful of my privilege and bias. Second mantra, this is also a really good one. In my search for truth, I can change my mind when new, trusted, and sensible information presents itself. In my search for truth, I can change my mind when new, trusted, and sensible information presents itself. You know, I've learned some things incorrectly. Some of my teachers have taught me the wrong information. Through some of my own self-study, I've perceived information incorrectly. So, you know, I hold my teachers accountable for the ones that have taught me incorrect information, but I also hold myself accountable for perceiving things incorrectly as well. And sometimes, you know, the stuff I learned from teachers that was incorrect, did I just listen wrong? You know, because sometimes we have to be accountable that we don't always hear things as they are said. So when on our quest for truth, we have to understand that sometimes the things we seem to think is true are not always true. And so when new information presents itself that's sensible and trusted, then we have to be willing to change our mind. Because sometimes we're wrong. And more often than not, we are wrong a lot of the time. It's the most beautiful thing about being human. So we have to have this willingness to change our mind when the new information is trusted and sensible. Oh, I learned this quote too. I can't remember this quote, but it's really good. But I learned it from Jason Crandall, who's a teacher from the US. And I think it's a Zen proverb or a Buddhist proverb, but you must burn and hammer. All good knowledge can be burned and hammered and still exist at the end of it. I totally butchered that. But it's just this beautiful idea that, you know, truth and wisdom can be burned and hammered over and over and over again. And basically like this perspective of being critiqued and reviewed over and over and over again and still exist at the end of it. So that as students in a spiritual lineage, like our duty as students is to take information, question it over and over and over again. Burn it, hammer it, keep questioning this knowledge, this wisdom that's being given to you or that you're taking in over and over and over again. See if it sticks. So because we're working with the throat chakra today, we will be going into some of our neck muscles. One of them, I call my splen cap class. Some of you have done it before. So there's this muscle called your splenius capitis, which goes down along your neck from your skull along the cervical spine. And basically what the splenius capitis does is, let's say there's someone behind me on my right hand side, and they say, "Hey, Duncan, I have the truth." And then I'm like, "Ooh!" And so I turn my head in the same direction. I turn my torso and my neck in the same direction. So the splenius capitis is going to engage, and I'm going to turn my head in the same direction my torso is twisting. Now, in most asanas, in most yoga poses, our head always turns in the same direction of our torso. I'm not sure if you've noticed that. There are a few exceptions to that. There are a few exceptions like Vajrasana, where the head turns in opposition to the torso. But generally in our life, we always turn our head in the same direction of our torso. Put on your seatbelt, you turn back, grab your seatbelt, put your seatbelt on. So what can be really nice to release the splenius capitis, because that's what the splen cap does, it helps you turn your head to the same side, is to turn your head in the other way. So if I turn my torso towards the right and then I turn my head towards the left, there's this beautiful release through the splen cap on the right hand side. Kind of like you're exposing your neck for a vampire to kind of bite. It's this very sensual movement. In dance, you know, it's kind of like an épaulement, a bit more sensual way of moving your shoulders so that you expose your neck, and when you dance it's like, oh, la 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 la, and it looks very beautiful, and it also feels quite nice. So that's what we'll be kind of working with today, is twisting, but moving our head in opposition to the twist to have a bit more of a release through the neck, to help energy free up around the neck, and invite more movement through the throat chakra, our ability to express our truth in a mindful way that is non-violent and acknowledges our own bias and privilege. Finally, we'll also be doing a little bit of Jalandhara Bandha, so we're going to revisit Samavriti in Pranayama, and I just want to explain it to you now before we start moving. Jalandhara Bandha is like is considered your throat lock. And so what you'll do in Samavriti is you're going to hold your inhale at the top during your retention. And I just want to keep it very simple. For Jalandhara Bandha, very simple. You're just going to bring your chin a little bit down. I'll do profile. You'll bring your chin just a little bit down and a little bit back and in. And it's very subtle. And this can also be really nice for those of us, which is the most of us, who have tech head. Our head juts forward and down because we're always on our phone. So drawing the chin a little bit in and a little bit down can be just a nice way of finding containment through the neck, through the front of the neck. All right, please come to your mat. And once you're on your mat, come to a comfortable seat. Once you've found a comfortable seat, please close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Full exhale. And keep that connection to your breath. Gently blink your eyes open. Hey, bring your left hand towards your right knee. Bring your right hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, twist towards the right. So just a gentle seated twist. And turn your head in the same direction you're looking. Like there's someone behind you saying, "Hey, Gabrielle, happy birthday." Yeah, and so you're looking back towards them. You're like, who's back there wishing me happy birthday? Okay, now keep your chest and your torso and your shoulders turning to the right, but now turn your head towards the left and try to look over your left shoulder. For some people, it feels a little bit weird. For me, it feels nice, okay? And now as you turn your head to the left, keep actively turning your torso and your shoulders to the right. This could, for some of us, be a new way of moving, a new movement pattern. And then just very gently, let your left ear come towards your left shoulder a little bit more. So you're exposing the right side of your neck. Almost like there's, a vampire from the Vampire Chronicles, Lestat from Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles. Lestat, oh, that was one sexy man. Take a deep inhale, full exhale. Okay, bring your head back to center, bring your shoulders back to center. Other side, twist towards the left, right hand towards left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist. Turn your shoulders to the left, turn your head to the left. Good, and now keep turning your chest and your shoulders to the left. Turn your head to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Good. Now keep turning your chest, your shoulders to the left. Turn your head to the right. Just very gently let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. Like you're exposing your neck for a beautiful kiss from a vampire. You'll become immortal. Take one more deep inhale. Full exhale. And bring your head back to center. Bring your torso to center. Good. Please come onto your hands and knees. Hands underneath your shoulders. Knees underneath your hips. Please turn your head to look towards your right foot. At the same time, try to bring your right hip towards your right shoulder. So you're shortening the right side of your body, engaging your right obliques, laterally bending towards the right. So right shoulder towards your right hip towards your right shoulder. Imagine as if someone had like a can of tomato soup. I don't think tomato soup is a thing in Australia. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm still learning things. A can of tomato soup. And imagine as if they're like, here's this can of tomato soup. I want you to hold it with your waist, with your right waist, between your ribs and your hip. So try to minimize the distance between your rib cage and your hip as much as possible. Look towards the right. Good. Now come back to center. Same thing, other side. Look towards the left. Look towards your left foot. And then actively try to bring your left hip to touch your left shoulder. Shorten the left side. Keep looking towards your left foot. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Imagine as if you're trying to hold a can of soup there. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Send your butt back and up towards the sky. Bend your right knee. Let your left heel drop heavy. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Switch sides. Bend your left knee. Let your right heel drop heavy. Take a deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then just pedal back and forth, releasing those calves. And then please come to a place of relative stillness in your downward dog.
Focus your eyes on one spot right between your feet. Push your hands actively forward and down into the ground, and push especially through your thumb and your index finger knuckle. Roll the outer shoulders back, turn the inner biceps forward. Drive the tops of your thighs back and up. And then just pay attention to your neck. So today we're working with our neck region. And the tendency sometimes can be to drop the head through the arms quite close to the ground. And today I would like you to not do that. Today, can you try to keep your ears right between your biceps? And then even a little more than that, can you find a little Jalandhara Bandha? Draw your chin a little into your throat to create a little more length at the back of the neck, while keeping your skull right between your arms. You take one more deep inhale and a full exhale. And bend your knees, look forward, walk, walk, walk to the top of your mat. You inhale, lift up halfway, elongate the torso forward. Again, pay attention to your neck placement, look straight down, draw your chin slightly into your throat. Exhale, fold over your legs, release your head. One more time, inhale, lift up halfway, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs, release your head. And fingertips on the ground, step your right foot back, drop your right knee down towards the ground. Inhale, reach both hands up. Can you inhale, lift up out of the pelvis, try to get a little bit more vertical, so less of a classical Anjaneyasana, more of a vertical one. So your shoulders are over your hips, and your right hip is more over your right knee. Pull your front low ribs in, lengthen your tailbone down. So the torso is more vertical. Inhale, get up taller, lift those arms up. Exhale, take your right hand to your left knee. Take your left hand back, look towards your left thumb, twist. Inhale, get tall through the torso. Exhale, twist to look back towards your left thumb. Okay, one more breath in. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, keep twisting your torso to the left, but now look forward towards your right shoulder. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, can you twist more? Torso to the left, head to the right. And look forward. Inhale, both hands up, reach tall. Exhale, arrowhead, hands back. Lift your back knee off the ground. Take a steady breath in. Steady breath out. 3 more breaths. Can you breathe powerfully? Notice if your head is jutting forward. Can you pull your chin into your throat slightly? One more breath here, and then imagine as if my hand were on the back of your head, and just push the back of your head up and back a little. So your skull's in alignment with your spine. It's not drooping. Stay as you are with the legs. Inhale, reach both arms overhead. Just one breath. Extended arrowhead pose. Take a full inhale. Lift those arms. Exhale, right hand comes down to the ground. Left hand goes up towards the sky. Turn your chest up. Turn your head up. Look up. Keep pressing that right thigh to the sky. Squeeze your right glute. Push your right hand actively into the floor. So this is a low weight bearing position for the wrist, well, lower than plank. So can you push that hand down, push the left foot down so that you're beginning to prep that shoulder, that right shoulder for more weight bearing, and the wrist. Good, now keep turning the chest up, keep looking up, but now turn your head to look down. Take one more deep inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate the spine. Exhale, fold. Fingertips on the ground. Step your left foot back. Drop your left knee down. All right, here we go. Inhale, both arms up. Try to get a little more vertical in this one. So less of a back bend, more verticality. You can get your left shoulder over your left hip, over your left knee. Squeeze your left glute. Inhale, reach up taller. Keep the low ribs pulled in. Exhale, left hand to your right knee, twist, right hand back. Inhale, get taller through your spine. Exhale, deepen the twist to look back. Now keep turning your chest and your head to the right. Push down through your left knee a little bit more. Try to squeeze your left glute. Now keep your chest and your right hand where it is. Turn your head to look forward. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, turn your chest more to the right. Turn your head more to the left. Look forward. Inhale, reach both hands up. And exhale, arrowhead, both hands back. Lift your back knee off the ground. 3 breaths only. Pay attention to your head placement. Press the back of your head up to the ceiling a little bit. Yeah. And if you're sensitive, you might notice 2 more breaths. You might notice how that takes a little bit of tension out of the upper back, especially if that's your normal head resting position. Droopy neck, tech neck. 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale. Stay this low. Inhale, reach both arms overhead, extended arrowhead. Lift those arms up, level with your ears. Left hand comes down. Right hand reaches up. Turn your chest to look up. Look up, chest up. Stretch that right hand up. Actively push the right foot down and your left hand down. Good. As you turn the chest up, now turn your head to look down. Slide your left shoulder blade down the back. Take 1 more full inhale. Good. Complete exhale. Awesome. Both hands come down towards the ground. Step back, downward dog pose. Take a deep breath in and downward dog. And a full breath out. Slow Ujjayi breath in. Slow Ujjayi breath out. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Your choice, upward dog or cobra pose. Inhale. Downward facing dog pose, full exhale. Take a full breath into your body. Full breath out. 2 more breaths, just like that. Steady eyes. Head is right between your arms. Keep pushing strongly through the inner hands. Little Jalandhara Bandha. Throat lock. Pull your chin slightly into your throat. It's very subtle. It's not a huge movement. Step your feet together like they're one tree trunk. Stable, steady. Lift your heels up so you're right on your tippy toes. Try to keep tilting those sit bones up. Remember sunflower seed. Inhale. Right leg lifts back and up towards the sky. Keep both hips facing down. Exhale. Curl your right knee towards your face. Round through your back. Push the floor away. Inhale. Leg goes back up towards the sky. Exhale. Right knee across to your left elbow. As you twist the knee towards the right, turn your head towards, as you twist your right knee to the left, turn your head to the right. Pull your left shoulder down the back, push more through your left hand. And inhale, right leg goes up towards the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, twist towards the right with the torso, but look forward with your head. Ooh, getting a bit faster with that movement pattern. Inhale, both hands up, look forward. Exhale, arrowhead, hands down and back. Lift the back knee. Inhale, reach both arms overhead, extended arrowhead. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up. Look down at the floor. Take a deep inhale into your body. Exhale, both hands down to the ground. Downward dog pose. Step your feet together. Inhale, come high onto your tippy toes. Lift the heels. Exhale, stay. Push through the hands. Get the butt high. Lift the left leg all the way up towards the sky. Big breath in. Okay. Exhale, curl the knee in towards the face, round through the back. Lift the leg back up to the sky. Let's bring the knee across towards the right elbow. Pause. Can you get the knee more to the right? Turn your head to the left. Pull the right shoulder down the back. Push more through the right hand. Good. Inhale, leg goes back and up towards the sky. Exhale, step the foot all the way forward. Drop your right knee down to the ground. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, twist. Looking forward. I almost forgot, look forward. Good, and now inhale, both hands up, reach both hands up. Arrowhead pose, exhale, hands back. Inhale, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, right hand down, left hand up. Look down at the floor. Take a deep inhale. Turn the chest up, but keep looking down. Exhale, both hands to the ground, downward dog pose. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Your choice, cobra or upward dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog pose, full exhale. Take a steady breath into your body. And a full breath out. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And please step your feet together. Come onto your tippy toes, look forward, bend your knees, step or jump forward to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale, release your head. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up towards the sky, full breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bend your knees, sit your bum, Utkatasana. Don't worry, it won't be a long one. Sit low, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, elongate your spine. Step or jump, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog pose, exhale. Pivot your left foot 30 or 45 degrees. Step your right foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come all the way back down to the ground. Step back to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot the right foot out. Step your left foot forward. Warrior one pose, one inhale. Exhale, hands come all the way back down. Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway or all the way. Upward dog or cobra pose. Downward facing dog pose, complete exhale. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Again, pay attention to your neck placement. Bring more awareness. Vidya, lack of awareness. Bring more awareness to your neck placement. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale all your air. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Bend your knees, sit your butt really low. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands come to your heart. One more time, bend your knees. Sit your bum, Utkatasana, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, elongate the spine. Step or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog pose. Full exhale, step right foot forward. Inhale, come all the way up, reach those hands up. Exhale, hands down towards the ground. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot the right foot, step the left foot forward. Inhale, reach both hands up. Exhale, hands all the way down towards the ground. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good job. Stay, slow breath in. Steady breath out. Deep inhale. Full exhale. One last deep inhale into your body. Exhale, step your feet together. Walk them 1 foot closer to your hands. Come onto your tippy toes, lift your heels. Get your shoulders right on top of your wrists. Look between your hands. Option 1, just stay here. Stay here for 5 more breaths and push the floor away. Work on your shoulder strength. Option 2, bend your knees, 5 hops. If you need to, you can go to the wall. Try to get stuck upside down. 4 more breaths or hops. 3, try to stay focused. 2, and 1 last breath in, and then land your feet at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, and then fold over your legs, exhale. Okay, please bend your knees deeply. Utkatasana, inhale. Utkatasana. Sit your bum down and back. Lift those arms up, lift the chest up. Just 1 more breath in, stay. Exhale, hands to your chest in prayer. Twist towards the left. Bring your right elbow to the left knee. Push the hands together. Turn the chest to the left. Turn your chest up to the sky. Now turn your head to look down. And even more than that, try to turn your nose to the right a little bit more. So your neck's going in opposition to the rest of the torso. Try to pull the left shoulder down the back. For some of you, you might feel a bit of a stretch. For some of you, maybe not. Take 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale. Keep turning the chest to the left. Keep bending into your knees. Feels weird to twist like this, doesn't it? Doesn't feel like you're really going anywhere. Okay, come back to center. Hands in prayer. Look straight forward. Twist to the other side. Left elbow, try to keep both knees bent. Palms come together. Twist your chest to the right, turn it up. Turn your head down. Even more than that, turn your nose and your eyeballs more to the left. But keep turning that doesn't mean you lose the twist through the rest of the torso. Turn your chest, turn your shoulders to the right. Turn your head to the left. What's happened to your legs? Sit down and back. Take 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale. And bring your head to center. Bring your shoulders to center. Come back to center. Full Utkatasana. 1 big breath in. And then exhale, stand all the way up. Hands to your hips. Bend both of your knees. Step your right foot far back. Turn your right toes to the right. Turn your left foot in slightly. Inhale, spread your arms wide. Exhale, reach far forward. Take your right hand either down to the ground or a block, or just your right shin or ankle is fine as well. Reach the left hand up towards the sky. Now, initially, turn your head to look up. Turn your chest to look up. But pull your shoulders down the back. Now, turn your head to look down. And can you find a little more length on the right side of the torso? A little more shortness on the left. Keep turning the chest towards the sky as you turn your head to look down. Take 3 more breaths. Listen to your breathing. Draw the shoulders away from the neck. Stretch that left hand up. Keep letting the chest open to the sky, but your head turns down towards the ground. Good. Bend into your right knee. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands to the hips. Pivot through the feet, other side. Turn your left foot to the left. Turn your right foot in slightly. Inhale, take your arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, reach far forward beyond the left foot. Then take your left hand down to shin, ankle, block or floor. Right hand up towards the sky. Now turn your head and turn your chest to look up at the heavens. Now keep your chest turning up, but turn your head down. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Try to lengthen the left side of your torso. Shorten the right side of your torso. 3 more breaths. Can you breathe deeply? As you look down at your left foot, can you remember day 1? Ladybugs and ants. Lift the outer arch of the left foot. Lift the inner arch of the left foot. Push down through all 5 toes. Take 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale. And bend into your left knee. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. Exhale, turn towards the back of your mat. Drop your left knee down, kind of similar to what we did on Saturday. Lift your left hand up, reach tall, and then exhale, twist. Bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Bring your palms together. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up off the ground. Keep bending into your right knee, but keep pressing your left thigh up. Option to take your left hand down towards the ground and your right hand up towards the sky. If you would prefer to bind, you can bind. Right hand across the back, left arm underneath that right leg. Hold hands. 3 more breaths. Wherever you are, can you turn your chest to the right? Now turn your head to look down. 2 more breaths. Keep the bend in your right knee. Keep pressing that left thigh up. Chest turns to the right, head turns to the left. Take 1 last deep inhale. Full exhale. Both hands come down to the ground. Good. Just walk your hands all the way to the left and then to the front of your mat. Drop your right knee down towards the ground. Inhale, reach the right hand up. Exhale, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Palms come together, prayer. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee up. Yeehaw. Stay here or take the right hand to the ground on the outside of the foot, your left hand up. So this is optional. Or bind, left arm across the back, right arm underneath the right leg, and hold hands. Turn your chest to the left. Turn your head down and to the right. Keep the bend in your left knee. Keep pressing that right thigh up. 3 more breaths. 2. 1 last deep breath in and out. And both hands come down towards the ground. Unravel your hands to the right and pivot all 10 toes to the right side of your mat so that your feet are parallel. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, if you're really tight through your hamstrings, you might just stay here with your hands on the floor and on the blocks under your shoulders. Otherwise, if you can fold in a little bit more, you can walk your hands back so they align with the arches or the heels of the feet. Maybe bend both elbows back. Release your head towards the floor. Can you keep pressing down through the big toe mound in the inner heel? Let your head release. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Take a slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. 2 more breaths. Okay, 1 last deep inhale. Full exhale. Now I'm going to give you 3 options. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, you grab onto your big toes with your middle and index finger and your thumb, your peace fingers. And you bend your elbows out to either side and bring the crown of your skull towards the floor. Option 3, you go upside down. If tripod headstands in your practice or press handstand is in your practice, up you go. We're going to take 5 more breaths. Wherever you are, can you breathe deeply? Four more breaths. Pressing and talking is not always easy. 3. Okay. Stay focused on yourself. 2 more breaths. Eyes are steady. 1 last deep breath in. If your legs are up, slowly bring them back down. Amazing. Take your hands so they're under your shoulders. Bend your knees. Hands to your hips. Deep inhale, stand all the way up. Awesome. Please turn towards the top of your mat. Step forward. If you know you have tight hamstrings and you have blocks, then grab a block, place it in the middle of your mat. Hands on your hips, please. Step your left foot about 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet back. Both heels are on the ground. Back foot's on like a 30-ish degree-ish angle-ish. Both hips face forward. Left hand reaches up. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, left hand to your block or the floor. You can place the left hand on the inside of your right foot or the outside of your right foot. Up to you. Take your right thumb, just like we did in the spacious hip flexion class when we were working on our sacral chakra. Take your right thumb in your right hip crease. Push the top of the right thigh back. Inhale, elongate the chest forward. Good. Now push down through the left hand. Use that push through your left hand to turn the chest. Reach the right hand up. As you turn your chest up and your right hand up, turn your head down. Look down. That doesn't mean you stop working the twist. Keep turning the chest up. Keep turning the head down. Take 3 more breaths. Deep inhale. Keep elongating the spine forward. 2 more breaths. Push down through both feet simultaneously. 1 more deep inhale. And exhale, right thumb back to the right hip crease. Keep looking down. Shift forward, revolved half moon. Lift the back leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Push down through that left hand. Reach the right hand up. Turn the chest to the right, but keep looking down. Can you get both hips facing down? Can you get your back leg parallel to the floor? 3 more breaths. Try your best. If you lose your balance, don't be too hard on yourself. This is a very tricky pose. So if you fall out, just try your best to come back in. 2 more breaths. Get that back leg up. Turn the chest to the right. Keep looking down. Awesome. And then step your left foot forward. Put your block back to the center of your mat. Stand all the way up. Other side. Step your right foot back about 3 to 4 feet. Inhale. Right arm up. Get real tall. Exhale, right hand comes down to the block or the floor. Now there's 2 options for hand placement. You can put the right hand on the inside of the foot, or a little more challenging is the outside of the foot. Okay. Left thumb into your hip crease. Push the top of your left thigh bone back. And now elongate the chest forward. Try to lengthen through your spine. Push the right hand actively down into the block to turn your chest towards the left. Keep pushing the left thigh bone back. Then reach the left hand up towards the sky. Turn your chest up. Now turn your head down. Can you press evenly through both feet? Keep elongating the chest forward. Drive that right hand down to turn the chest a little bit more to the left. Take 3 more breaths. Can you listen to your breathing? 2. Final breath. Well done. Left thumb back into your left hip crease. Bend into your left knee. Shift forward. Lift your right leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Straighten your right knee. The lifted leg is straight. Now lift it up. Good. Keep pushing that left thigh bone back. Chest elongates forward. Find spinal length, not rounding. Good. Now reach your left hand up. Turn your chest towards the left. Turn your head to look down. And if you fall out of it, don't worry about it. Just hop back on the bandwagon. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be committed, but let go of the need to be overly judgmental of yourself. Be focused. Push the right hand down. Turn the left hand up. Lift the right leg up. Remember, anything of challenge has value. 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, step that right foot forward. Stand all the way up. And well done. All right, turn all 10 toes to the right. Bend your knees, come down into a squat. Lower your butt towards your heels. Good, and then bring both hands to the left. So you're coming into a twisted squat, but it's a perky squat because you're on your tippy toes and your heels are lifted. Your knees are side by side. Okay? And turn your chest to the left. Okay? Option 1, you stay here. You just stay here. You don't have to do any more than this. Just stay here. If it's really challenging, sit on a couple blocks. Okay? Otherwise, plant both palms flat on the ground. Try to get your left knee above your right elbow. Bend your elbows and then try to pick up both legs for Parshva Bakasana. Maybe if you can, straighten both legs, but keep them on top of one another. So full Parshva Bakasana, keeping both legs straight. See if you can look towards your right toes. Take 1 more deep breath in. Rebend the knees. Place the feet on the ground. Good. Stand all the way up. Turn your feet to the left. It's nice to stand up after that, especially, if you have tight lateral lines of the legs. You need a bit of a release from that intense elbow massage. Bend your knees, come down into a squat again. And this time, walk your hands to the right. So we're coming into the twist on the other side. Remember, option 1, you can just stay here. Be kind with yourself. Being committed doesn't mean you have to do everything that's offered. It just means you try your best with what you can do today. And sometimes this is where you stop. Otherwise, plant both palms. Take the knees above the elbow. Try to have a little bit of fun with it. Be playful with it. Bend both elbows and then try to pick up the feet. If you can pick up the feet, straighten both legs. Keep them on top of one another. Turn your head towards the left slightly. Good. Rebend the knees. Ooh, place the feet down. Awesome. Stand up. Face the top of your mat. Feet are hip distance wide. Inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward over your legs all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Elongate your spine. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take a steady breath in downward dog. And a steady breath out. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Take one last deep breath into your body and a full breath out. Awesome. Come forward to plank pose. Take a full breath in plank all the way to your belly. For those of you who are pregnant, we're just going to move into some back bending, so feel free to do any back bending that feels okay for you. Reach both hands back behind you. Inhale, lift your chest, and then slowly lift your arms. Slowly lift your legs. Bring the legs towards each other. Keep lifting the chest. Keep lifting the arms. Try to keep your legs together for this one. Roll the inner thighs up. And take your hands back, interlace the hands together, Shavasana. Now just try to notice if your head's drooping too much to the ground. Press the back of your skull up. And then pull your chin slightly into your throat. 4 more breaths. Lift the chest, lift the arms, lift the legs. Try to stay with it. 3 more breaths. Lift the chest, lift the arms, lift the legs. You're almost there. 2 more. Breathe in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, stay. Here we go. Last one. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs, lift the chest. Everything lifts. And then exhale, rest. Turn your head to one side, release onto the ground. Take a full breath into your body. Full breath out. Good. Turn your head the other way. Last, dorsal back bend. Sorry, ventral. Last back bend on your belly. Reach back with your hands, bend your knees, and catch your ankles or your feet. If this does not work for your body, then do not do it. Just stick with Shavasana, the one we just did. On your next inhale, lift your chest, lift your legs, kick your feet up, lift your chest up. 5 breaths. As the feet press up, lift the chest up. The higher the chest and the feet go, then maybe kick back a little bit more. 3 more breaths. Good. 2. Can you lift up a little higher? Press those feet up. Lift the chest. 1 last deep breath in. Lift, lift, lift. And exhale, release. Please push right up onto your hands and knees. Come to a kneeling position. Okay. We're going to move into Ustrasana, Camel Pose. Such a good pose for the throat chakra to open up across our throat. Now I'm just going to show you something very briefly before we move into Ustrasana. It's kind of like a little trick. So if you're looking at your screen at me, that would probably be helpful. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay. Your traps, your upper traps, can make a shelf for your neck to support your neck as it goes back. So if you put your hands on your hips, you can just watch me first. And you draw your shoulders up towards your ears, and you draw your shoulder blades back a little. You can kind of feel like they make a little shelf there, so that when your head goes back, your upper traps actually support your neck. And now it may not look that beautiful, but what that upper trap engagement does is it gives support for my skull and my neck so that the front of my throat can open and soften. So in Ustrasana, it would look like having my hands behind me on the sacrum, drawing the shoulders towards each other, hugging the elbows in, and drawing the shoulders up a little bit. And then I have something to kind of rest my head and my neck against as I go back and I allow my throat to open. Okay? So it kind of creates this pillow effect. If Ustrasana doesn't work for your neck or your back, then please feel free to just stay in a position that looks like this, where you squeeze your elbows in, you stay upright, and you just think about opening across the front of the chest. And even in this position, you can get a nice pec stretch. All right, let's do it all together. Come to a kneeling position. Place your thumbs on your sacrum and wrap the rest of your fingers around towards the side of your hips. So your thumbs come towards your sacrum bone, the center and the base of your spine, kind of in the mid-butt flesh region, around the coccyx. Okay. And then draw your shoulders up towards your ears and draw your shoulders back. Squeeze your elbows towards each other. Hug the elbows in. Now inhale, lift your chest up first. Just lift your chest. And now slowly let your head fall backwards and just pause there. So you don't have to go very deep in the back bend in order to release through the throat. Take a moment to check in. Sometimes this can be intense for a lot of us. If it's too intense for you, then just bring your head forward and release. If you'd like to continue to go back, you can slowly begin to arc further back into the back bend and take your hands down towards your feet or a block or two. Wherever you are, can you take 5 more breaths? Deep inhale. Full exhale. 4 more breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Good. 3. If it's too much, you can just come out and come to a seated position. You know, take care of yourself. Last 2 breaths. Yeah, 1 last deep inhale. Can you lift the chest up, push the knees, push the feet down, let the heart open, let the throat open. Good, and then slowly tuck your chin to your throat, look forward, and then come all the way up and sit down into a seated position that you can rest in. Close your eyes and just take a few quiet breaths. Let your shoulders relax. Satya, truthfulness. Throat chakra. I can speak my truth honestly and non-violently, acknowledging my bias and my privilege. And gently blink your eyes open. Hey, well done, everyone. Please come to a seated position with both feet out in front of you. Come into Baddha Konasana. Again, if you're really tight through the hips, you can sit on a block like I'm doing. And with your feet together in Baddha Konasana, hold your shin bones, pull against your shins, and lift your chest up. So you're elongating through the torso. Push the shin bones down against the hands. Keep lifting the chest up. Draw the shoulders down the back, broaden across the collarbones. So you're finding incredible length and posture through the spine. You feel tall and elongated. Option to stay here if this feels really good for you, or forward fold and bring your head towards your feet. Can you take 5 slow breaths? 4. Can you let your head totally relax? Just let it drop if you're in the forward fold. And one more big inhale. And a full exhale. And inhale, slowly come all the way up. Good. We're going to move into Samavriti. So remember, this is the equal flexion pranayama, equal fluctuation pranayama. So before we move into it, I'll just grab your attention very briefly. When we're doing pranayama, the intention is to let the ego soften and let the breath be more gentle than anything. So that means we are all different. Some of you will benefit better from a 4-count inhale and a 4-count exhale. Some of you will benefit from a 5-count inhale and a 5-count exhale. Some of you 6, some of you 7, some of you 8. If you're newer to pranayama, or if you know you have a bit more restriction and tightness in your body today, because we're always changing from day to day, please take a smaller count, like a 3 to 4 count inhale and a 3 to 4 count exhale. If you are feeling really comfortable, you can begin to add the retention like we've been doing for a couple counts or a few counts. If you're doing this pranayama and you feel scared or there's a lot of tension or like you don't have enough oxygen, then your count is off. So you need to dial it back if you feel like you're running out of air or your heart's racing a little too fast. You're just pushing yourself a little too much. So make your count smaller. Your retention count smaller to non-existent. Your inhale and exhale count smaller. You can do this sitting upright or lying down on your back, like we've been doing through the rest of your immersion. So choose a comfortable seat or a position lying on your spine with your knees bent. If you're on your back, you can place your hands on the ribs if you like that tactile sensation. Okay, now wherever you are, close your eyes. I'll start us all off with a 4 count with no retention. And then you'll either stay there or progress onwards. Remember, the intention of pranayama is for this one is to be gentle. So if it feels like there's too much tension or your heart's racing or it begins to feel very uncomfortable, you just need to take a step back. Please take a natural breath in and out. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, counting on your own. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Try to slow the breath, like try not to suck the breath in so fast. Exhaling.
Inhaling, we'll option to add retention this time. At the top of your inhale, pause, do a little Jalandhara Bandha, pull your chin slightly into your throat, hold for 2, hold for 1, and then release Jalandhara Bandha, lift your chin slightly and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. At the bottom of the exhale, pause, hold the breath, draw your chin slightly into your throat, that tiny Jalandhara Bandha, hold for 1 and 2, and then tilt your chin slightly up, release, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, a little throat lock, hold for 2, hold for 1, and then release your throat slightly and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently draw the chin in. It's very subtle. It's like the tiniest movement. And then release the chin slightly and take a natural breath in. So your chin might only move like a millimeter or less. And eventually it becomes more like of an energetic feeling. Continue on at your own pace. If you're feeling very comfortable, you have the option to inhale and exhale for 4 counts, and then to hold your retention for 4 counts or up to 4 counts. Again, if you are newer to these breathing exercises, please just inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. Only if you feel really comfortable, add just a 1 or 2 count pause of retention. do 2 more rounds. And then when you're done, slowly take a natural breath in and a natural breath out. And we'll make our way into Shavasana, corpse pose. So if you're not on your back, you can slowly lie onto your back and hug your right knee in towards your chest and lengthen your left leg forward. And take the right knee with your left hand and bring the right knee to the left, coming into a twist. And then turn your head to look to the right. Okay, so again, this is one of the poses in yoga where we do tend to turn our head in opposition to the direction of our torso. Although it's generally a little less extreme here because for most people their shoulders stay on the ground anyways. So they bring the leg back up to center. Switch sides, right leg forward, hug your left leg in, give your left knee a big squeeze. And then bring your left knee towards the right, turn your head to look over your left arm. Can you take a really big breath in? And just sigh it out. Good, and then bring your leg back to center. Hug both knees in, give both knees a gentle squeeze. And please make your way into Shavasana, corpse pose. Giving your body a moment to release, to soften, to rest. Can you let the muscles in your face totally relax? And sometimes we can hold quite a bit of tension in our jaw. So maybe open your jaw a little. Let your mouth, your tongue relax. Can there be a gentleness across the shoulders, the neck? Can your throat relax? And the belly relaxes. The arms and the legs rest. If you'd like to stay here a little longer, please feel free to. Otherwise, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take your arms up overhead, give your body a big stretch. Bend both of your knees. Roll on to your right hand side. Gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Please bring your hands together in front of your chest, palms touching. May we acknowledge that sometimes we can be looking out of a dirty window. And may this practice of yoga help clear off that window so that we can see ourselves, the people around us, the world around us with greater clarity. Namaste. All right, good job everyone. Thanks for doing day 8. We only have 2 more days left, day 9 and day 10. So super excited. For my YouTube peeps, see you in the next practice. Good job, I'm so proud of you. For the Zoom peeps, I have a couple minutes if any of you have questions or want to hang around and chat.